Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Han Solo did to Greedo.
Yeah, I shot you first, you green son of a bitch! I'll shoot you all first! I'm Han Solo, and I always shoot first!
Has it happened? Has a Flerf finally debunked me? In a debate I recently had with Nathan Thompson, I absolutely ruined him. But did I get everything right? Did he win the debate? Can flat earthers tie their own shoelaces? The answer to all three is no. A particularly thick flat earther by the name of Quantum Eraser did a breakdown of my debate. So today we're going to do a breakdown of him attempting to show how wrong I was in everything I said. Sit back and enjoy as Quantum Eraser gets rubbed out for episode 43 of Flerfs Are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me once again as we look at what happens when a child is dropped on their head repeatedly. Quantum Eraser is a flat earther who hangs around with Nathan Oakley and dumbfuck of the year 2019, Sleeping Warrior. He usually spends his time giving presentations, I guess you could call them. Thinks he is some kind of an authority on science, yet has presentations that look like something from a website circa 1998. He is really stupid and arrogant and also a coward as he refuses to debate me live. So here we go. Quantum Eraser's attempt to debunk me.
All right, so let's get to the subject matter. And I know I haven't been around this guy all that much, Craig the Fat Girth.
So to debunk me, Dumbass Prime starts by insulting my weight. I mean, yeah, I'm a bit overweight. What's your point? I'm a physically disabled military veteran who is literally unable to do most physical exercise. I mean, he's so dumb he can't even insult me right. The fat girth, what even does that mean? The correct insult about my weight is to call me fight the tight shirt. Flat earthers fail at everything, huh?
Not only did one person, it was like 10 people sent me this video, right? And it was the video of him debating Nathan Thompson.
Ah yes, the destruction of Nathan Thompson, which you can see by clicking on the link up there. This is when Nathan Thompson debuted his SpongeBob bit that he stole from inmate 06452-017 Kent Hovind.
Could you please, for your audience, because I want this to be very clear, because, and please don't interrupt me, Craig. You asked me if I want to see it. I'm going to explain, yes, I do want to see it. Because Craig believes in SpongeBob fairy tale imagination land.
Cool.
I'm in the middle of talking.
Must be something about people that get arrested in SpongeBob.
And I'll tell you what, I think my mouth was agapped here, listening to this absolute nonsense. I couldn't believe it, and no one was doing anything about it. No one was saying anything in the comments.
Yeah, he's just waffling. I think I'll skip ahead.
He's cocky, and I guess, I don't know what he's trying to go for here. Maybe saying things like in a cocky manner, like confident that's going to cloak your abject horseshittery.
Still waffling. Hold on. I'll try to find something actually useful.
Like in Ballbusters 2, but I don't know how much bank I should put in the viewing numbers. I think that can be manipulated, right?
My God, we're 20 minutes in and Quantum Eraser has managed to say nothing so far without shutting up.
But I was looking around Discord, mainly reviewing the comments under the video or the debate, so-called debate that went on. And I didn't hear anyone say anything about it. That's unbelievable to me. Just let me tell you, Craig, Numpty, by tomorrow morning, if you have more than 2 subs, that's you and your mother, then your subs are more retarded than you are, sir, because you can't recover. You're not going to be able to recover from this.
Well, your stream was done 24th of March. It's now June, and I've just passed 25,000 subscribers, so either you don't know what you're talking about, or you've just called 25,000 people idiots. And you're a flat earther.
Vince, apparently they prefer the word retard.
Eh? Oh, how very quaint.
So if the Earth rotated, it would rotate under hot air balloons.
That's not what the Coriolis force is.
Balls
You're wrong.
that you throw in the air.
Okay, I need to educate you on what the Coriolis force is, obviously, because you've no idea. The Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating under things.
Oh, really? Craig, Fat the Fat Girth. This is what he said. The Coriolis force is not the Earth rotating under things. You numpty Burke, you never define something as to what it's not.
That's where you start with your debunk, by attempting to pick apart my argument structure. Clearly, when I was saying it's not the Earth rotating underneath things, I was responding to Nathan Thompson saying the Coriolis should mean the Earth rotates underneath helicopters and other things, before I got into my explanation of what it actually was.
For example, if somebody asks you to define a banana, and you say a banana is not a walrus, then that's not the definition of a banana.
No, but if someone said to me this banana is a walrus, and I was to correct them, I would say, no, you fucking idiot, that banana is not a walrus. It is in fact a fruit, more specifically a berry, as it contains the seeds of a herbaceous plant that fruits them. This is typical of flat earthers. They don't understand anything, even basic conversations.
Okay? My word. Number 2, Numpty Burke. A part of the definition and a pillar of the Coriolis effect is the Earth rotating under things.
Not really. The phrase I think you're looking for is rotate independently. When you dumbasses say the Coriolis is the Earth rotating underneath things, you then apply that to every possible instance and start to get things wrong. Then you build on your faulty assumptions and end up looking like an absolute dipshit.
Let's have a look-see. This is why that I've been preaching for the past few months, is to get these people to actually cite the correct definition of what they're talking about. It doesn't matter, doesn't have to be Coriolis effect. Whatever they're talking about, force them to cite it, because they're just gonna make shit up.
And I can always back up what I say with evidence, and unlike you special folk, I actually have the knowledge to apply what citations and quotes say to the context of what we are talking about. You cherry-pick definitions that you think support your position. But what happens if I ask you to calculate something based on known physics to do with Coriolis? Like, how far should something drift ahead of the rotation based on mass, velocity, positioning, and direction? Could you do that? No. I'm going to do an impression of what you guys look like when trying to do maths. Yeah, you guys look like this when asked to do a calculation. Wait, how do I get rid of this? I don't like, this feels wrong. Emma, call a doctor. Call a scientist. Just get help.
Coriolis Effect from Seagard Douglas, Introduction to Ocean Sciences, 2nd edition, Critical Concept Reminders. When set in motion, freely moving objects, including air, that's atmosphere, and water masses, that's clouds and water vapor, move in straight paths while the Earth continues to rotate independently.
So where in that sentence does it say rotates underneath? It doesn't, does it? It says rotate independently. Something could be rotating to the side of something and be rotating independently. You're just adding the word underneath, aren't you?
From plusmass.org. Once you set one in motion, its direction of swing will rotate at a rate of about 0.2 degrees every minute. But in fact, it isn't really the pendulum that's rotating. The pendulum is swinging back and forth in exactly the same direction. It's the Earth which is rotating underneath the pendulum, Craig.
First, my name is not Craig. It's Craig, you dumbass. Secondly, you've just changed topics. A pendulum is not a freely moving object. It's got a fixed pivot point that means that in this case, the Earth definitely is rotating underneath the swinging pendulum. Interestingly, a pendulum can easily demonstrate the rotation of the Earth. Check out this video by the gentleman physicist, who, using a pendulum that he made himself, was able to calculate the latitude that he was on the globe with pretty good accuracy. Coriolis is used as an umbrella term for many different phenomena caused by the Earth rotating independently of objects. Yes, it's Coriolis that causes both a deflection of a ballistic object and the drift of a swinging pendulum, but the mechanics behind them are quite different. You also get a Coriolis effect going east to west or west to east. If a sniper shoots east, the bullet will appear to deflect up towards the sky. If he shoots west, it will appear to deflect towards the ground.
I can explain this too. So imagine the comments you get under this and many other videos. They'll say things like, how do you explain the 15 degrees an hour? And that's all they say. The 15 degrees an hour of what? 15 degrees an hour of what?
Exactly.
Well, 15 degrees an hour of the Earth rotating underneath the gyroscope, Craig. That's what your 15 degrees an hour is, you complete moron.
My God, Nathan, no. You don't even know the difference between
a 15 degree per hour drift,
an interferometric gyroscope registers, and the Coriolis effect, do you? Just go to the remedial classroom.
Right, welcome back to the remedial classroom, dum-dums. Now lockdown's being lifted, we can start trying to educate, I guess, you morons again. Oi! Oi, what's going on? You've been back 5 minutes and you're fighting. Mr. Riley, Mr. Ranty, why are you fighting? I thought you were friends. Sorry, Mr. Riley, Ranty owes your girlfriend Roxanne money. Never mind that, more importantly, you have a girlfriend. Can you do me a favour, Mr. Riley, and please don't breed. You and Roxanne would make some dumb babies, and I want to retire one day. Right, to start off with, we need to talk about an interferometric gyroscope again, because Mr. Oakley is dumb as fuck. The interferometric gyroscope that Mr. Nadell accidentally used to prove rotation of the Earth picks up a 15 degree per hour angular rotation of the Earth. This is because the gyroscope is physically on the Earth and can only detect the motion of what it is actually physically touching. So if the gyroscope is registering a 15 degree per hour drift, it's not registering the Earth rotating underneath it, it's rotating with the Earth, and that's what it detects. As for the Coriolis, you don't get a 15 degree per hour drift, you get a drift based on differences in tangential speed. Now, I know we've just got back to class and we've only been in session a few minutes, but I honestly can't stand any of you, and just being here amongst your stupidity makes me remember why I took up drinking in the morning. Get out, I hate you all. No one ever said it was. You are simply wrong with that assumption. The Coriolis force is about the law of conservation of momentum.
Oh, really? Let's fact check your name made up horseshit.
Fact check? You're a flat earther. You mean cherry pick random definitions without understanding context, don't you? You fuck nugget.
Let's go back to what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually put a bunch of definitions, cited definitions of the Coriolis effect, and we're gonna look to see if they mention the law of conservation of momentum, because Craig, Fat to Fat Girth, said that the Coriolis force is all about it. So let's see if we can find it.
Can I just check he did call it the Coriolis force?
Yes, that's fine.
Oh, right. I thought it was called the Coriolis effect.
It is. They're interchangeable. It's fine. I'm not going to get them on that. That's fine. They're interchangeable.
Oh, look at Sleeping Warrior piping up, trying to be important. Shut up, Riley. You won Dumb Fuck of the Year for 2019. Let someone else have a stab at the stupid crown. But just because I like to embarrass you, the Coriolis effect is what you see. So a ballistic projectile drifting ahead of rotation, or a pendulum's bob rotating. The Coriolis force is the calculable forces that are causing these accelerations within our reference frame.
Okay. So let's see. Thank you. Let's see if we can find the law of conservation of momentum in these cited definitions. To bring home some cowbell for them. So like I said, we already read this definition from Seagar Douglas, Introduction to Ocean Sciences, 2nd edition, critical concept reminders. When set in motion, freely moving objects, including air, that's atmosphere, and water masses, clouds, water vapor, move in straight paths while the Earth continues to rotate independently. Because freely moving objects are not carried with the Earth as it rotates, they are subject to an apparent deflection called the Coriolis Effect. To an observer rotating with the Earth, freely moving objects that travel in a straight line appear to travel in a curved path on the Earth. Nothing about the law of conservation of momentum there, Craig. Let's check a couple others. We'll go to University of Oregon and the University of Florida, who have adopted the same definition. Let's have a look. The effect of the Coriolis force is an apparent deflection of the path of an object that moves within a rotating coordinate system.
And the cherry picking begins. Let's look at that page, shall we? As we see, it talks about the fact that one part of the Earth has a faster tangential velocity than the target point. This is what conservation of momentum is.
If the Coriolis force is all about the law of conservation of momentum, and they're defining the Coriolis force as imaginary, doesn't that mean that according to you, Craig, Fat to Fat Girth, that the law of conservation of momentum is imaginary?
So you don't understand what an imaginary force is then? It's one of the descriptions for a force that only exists from within a reference frame. It doesn't mean it's not real. This is why the English language isn't sufficient to describe things like this, and why, when you try to win a science debate with dictionaries and definitions, we laugh at you and call you fucking idiots.
Let's try encyclopedia.com. At least they'll have it, right? Within its rotating coordinate system, the object acted on by the Coriolis effect appears to deflect off its path of motion. This deflection is not real. It only appears to happen because the coordinate system that establishes a frame of reference for the observer is also rotating.
First, let's go to that page. And here we can see when explaining, they mention the conservation of momentum. Once again, your own source debunking you. And in physics, another word for those imaginary forces is emergent force, because the force that is calculable is only there as a result of something else happening.
Number 2, the Coriolis force isn't about anything else other than the Coriolis force / effect.
And with that one sentence, you show your ignorance. Even you've admitted that the Coriolis force is because of experiencing something from within a reference frame.
Number 3, the Coriolis force and the law of conservation of momentum are not the same concepts or phrases. That should have gave the game away rather quickly. Do you see they're different words? Number 4, the law of conservation of momentum does not have anything whatsoever to do with the Coriolis effect.
Okay, do I need to break out the crayons? Look at the globe spinning. Even though all parts are rotating at the same angular velocity, different latitudes move at different tangential velocities. Let's show that on a rectangular map representation of Earth. You have the equator, the red arrows going faster than the blue and white arrows. So if something is fired from the equator directly north, it goes from a place of higher tangential velocity to a place of lower tangential velocity. And because there is no reason for it to lose it, the object maintains its faster tangential velocity and drifts to the right ahead of the rotation.
You just say these phrases. It's like, bagak, gravity, bagak, refraction, bagak, law of conservation of momentum. I don't know. What is it? Do you think that because of your target, the retardedness of your target audience, do you think that once you say one of these sciencey type of phrases, that no one's going to challenge you on it?
No, I understand them. So like I just did with that animation that took way too fucking long to make, I can explain them. You just look at definitions, but if I asked you to mathematically explain it, you'd have a fit.
B, the conservation of momentum is a natural law. So, if you clumsily attempt to apply it to anything synthetic, that is, man-made object, you're an abject moron.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Are you fucking kidding me? You know that natural in science means not supernatural and not man-made, right?
And that is to do with the angular velocity of the Earth at certain latitudes.
Oh, really? Craig, Fat the Fat Girth. This is where he starts to circle the drain. If you thought the above was bad, this is circling drain. It's hard to put it into words what's going to happen after this. I'll let you decide. Craig, Fat the Fat Girth. That is to do with angular velocity of the Earth at certain latitudes. Numpty Burke. The angular velocity at every single latitude is the frigging same. It's 1 revolution or radians per unit time.
And this is where I need to eat humble pie. I got something wrong. Even though I've said it correct many times and can even do the maths around it, when writing my script for my opening statement against Nathan's position, I wrote angular velocity instead of tangential velocity, and it got stuck in my head and I said it over and over.
Yo, fight. You're a fucking idiot.
But unlike flat earthers, I can admit when I am wrong. Yes, the rotation of the Earth is 15 degrees per hour at every latitude. Only the tangential velocity changes, but it doesn't change my point that when discussing ballistics, the conservation of momentum is what causes the Coriolis force. And with that stupidity from me, that's all I can take. But just before I go,
I want to give a massive shout out to all my patrons and channel members. Without your guys' support and generosity, I wouldn't be able to keep bringing you the great content that I love to do. If you join as a member or a patron, you can join the special members and patrons only section of my Discord, where I'll be doing members and patrons only streams from and hanging out and having chats with you guys. I hope everyone is safe in this crazy time. Thanks for watching.
thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed that, then please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss anything from FTFE. I'll be back later in the week of episode 44 of Flerfs Are Idiots, as I'm joined by Ryder Dinosaurs to go over the flat earther that can't stop lying. Remember, stupidity is not right. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.